up being, but this is it hanging up on cable. So this is it going through its start sequence. It kind of switches bits on at various times. The flashing, as I said in one of the other videos, is where the Nanos are waiting to talk to the Mega, and the Mega's waiting for the display to finish loading. Once it does, it switches over. That's it, it's now talking, and the rear ones now will start, they start like changing colour. They look purple on here, but they're actually orange, like a flamey yellowy orange. The board, I've just got this display off, I took it off the port, it's down on the port hut. I haven't coded it yet because this is not fully written to talk. It does on another bit of code, but not the code to run it, and I want to run the model so that I can have all the lights on and read the temperature. Okay, so I've now extended this. I've just looped the power from this sort of power prong, block I've got here. I've just linked over from there onto this board. I've also taken red is the signal. Then there's TX and RX. I'm not quite sure which is which out of those two. They just go straight through. I've then put a pull down resistor so that it pulls it down to 0 volts, and then I've put an LED on it so that when I go that's it, firing. I do actually pulse it twice. I put two pulses on it. It's only when I was having trouble getting it working, as I said, because the stenciling was on the wrong side of that board, wasn't it? But that is it done. So now I can detect when the Nextion display is finished. The cables to the Nextion are sort of I've sort of made them, they're still, they give you like an end on it, which they give you like a built-in end, which is difficult. I haven't got the right tools to terminate that properly, so I can't pull them out and replace them, so I'm going to leave them. So the only thing I could do is like cut them and solder them, which I've done. But we're going to extend this, so this is probably not going to be permanent. It's only right for testing purposes really. But that board, I've got some more posts coming, so once they come it can get mounted on the posts. I've already drilled the holes, so that's ready to go. There's a bit of spare over there as well, so if I need to add anything else, there's a little bit of board spare because I've run out. I'm not reusing all this stuff over here because it's all solder under there. Too much risk of shorting something, so I'm not going to do that. As I said, there's just the other power supply to go in, as well as 7.5 one, which I haven't done yet because I'm waiting for the posts. Again, they've not come. They should be here tomorrow, so I might be able to do that. And then there's just mount this speaker somewhere centrally. Just drill some holes, put that somewhere. I don't exactly know where that's going to go, but we may not use that anyway. We might go with the amplifier, like I said. So that's another bit done today. That's really it now, subject to getting the posts, and then it's starting on the software, which I can't really video, only the finished product really, or the code. That's all I can video. So here I've inserted a snippet from the output on the temperatures. BME sensor is the ambient temperature of the room that or the circuit boards above the model. The SI7021 sensor, that is
sensor that sits inside the model on the main board, so it's like the sort of like ambient temperature within the model. And then you've got LED 1, 2 and 3. They are the temperatures of the heat sinks, and as you see below there, 1 is the tail, 2 center, and 3 is the nose sensor. So it's a lot lower than it was on the other model. The other model was 55, this is 30, so good improvement.
Right, well I've started to code this, so most of it is fixed, like all the numbers on there are fixed. I've done the MP3 stats, where are we at? I'm trying to do it through the phone. So it's updated 16, but it should be updating playing next. Now I'm not running the main code, this is just a test program here. So what I've done here, see, I've tried to send, and I'm trying to use the mouse hands, right, so here I've sent the played counter, which will be on the main program. That's a variable I use, so I can send that so that it's an accurate count of how many tracks I've played. Here I send the remaining minutes of how long before the next track's played, but it doesn't seem to like sending all this and then sending the file trailer, because each time you communicate with the display you have to send it a trailer, which is, I don't know what it is, it might be OFF or something like that. You send it, but you have to send it this block to tell it that you finished talking to it. So it seems to only like you doing one change and then sending the thing, because I've tried it both ways. If I now send that, so that's now updating the sketch. Right, uploading, done uploading. So we'll now go back to this. So now I will go back up to here and go back, and this time I'll press stats again, and now it's updated 137. I've hard coded 137, but it will obviously count down. It's a bit clunky because this is all serial. It's flat out actually the speed that it won't go no faster than it is. So when you load it, where am I trying to go here? Right, try and do it again quicker. See, it just takes a second for it to load. So there is like a little delay where it actually loads it, but there's no other way of doing it. If I do it inside the Arduino, inside the Nextion, inside this display, it still has to wait to talk to the Arduino, because the Arduino is doing all the number crunching on this. It's the one that's controlling the MP3 player. So the MP3, the Arduino is also going to be a lot busier when it runs the main program. So hopefully this delay isn't too noticeable. But if it is, it is. Right, so here I have changed the code now, so that I've now updated the mode button, so that when I press the mode button, it loads page 6, and then on page 6 I've got a button called TV. So I'm putting it into TV mode, and the mode equals 4. So I'm still loading page 3. I've then gone back to the main screen. So then I've gone, this is the current page now. So here I am pressing the mode button again. Let me just scroll up the page a bit. So I've pressed the mode button again there. So there's the mode button pressed again, and this time I've pressed the pull button, so I'm returning it back to playing pull, which will turn on the main lights, which sends a code to the Arduino code. And the main program pulls that out and sends that to the nanos. So let me just show you. So what I was just saying, when I press the mode button on here, I press the TV, which will put it into sends a 4 to the Arduino code. That will then send the code code block to the nanos, telling them to stop their function, and we'll just switch the lights off, so that we can watch TV without them all flashing. And then this will update that. It updates that. Basically it goes up to 255, I think. Yeah, it does. So I can then preset that to say 89 like, or 90 or whatever, and it will put the lights at a set value. So I'm going to use, maybe keep the landing lights on, they're not on at the minute, but use the landing lights on the wings. The flashing lights will be, code when it's running. It's not running because I'm running different software, but these will go off, the exhausts will go off because they're just flashing as well at the moment. These landing lights will come on, but they will only be at a certain brightness, and this light underneath here in the nose gear will also come on just to light the room up a bit. If needed, I was also going to turn off all these body lights as well. All they will go off. I might keep them on actually, they're not too dazzling, so I might keep the body lights on, the fuselage lights, but just turn off the engines and the exhaust so they get no flashing and stuff. And if we later want one pull light on underneath, you know, one of the, say the centre one or something, I will put that on in code.